Hello friends, my name is Bernard. Welcome to my channel. Today's violin lesson will be on the first movement of the Haydn G Major Violin Concerto. And I have a confession to make that it's very, very hot here today in the 90s and humidity is quite dry. And I have a new set of strings on my violin and everything's very stiff. So I actually recorded it on my other violin, which is a little stiff also, but it's better because the strings aren't new. So anyhow, that's my a little fair warning. So on this concerto, it's a beautiful, wonderful concerto. It's probably not Haydn's best. I love the C major is an amazing piece, but this is a really fun and fine piece to play. The first thing where we're looking at this piece is notice that it's called Allegro Moderato. That's the tempo indication. So it's a moderate tempo. And as soon as you get to play it, you figure, wow, it's got 32nd notes. We're going to be counting in eighth notes. That's the bottom line. And I would recommend the tempo of about 112 for an eighth note. You can go a little faster, slower as you feel it. But that's where I'm at with it, 112. Now, coming to the solo line, the very first note is an issue for many students. We've got a sustained four-note chord. And we have to fill out 2/8. So I recommend that on this chord we're going to play 2 and 2, 2 lower notes, 2 upper notes, and then let the B natural go and hold the G alone. So we've got that line brought out right away. The other thing that's really important is when we start near the frog, and we make the break. When we're across the strings, we're still not more than, I would say we try to still be a little bit in the lower half of the bow. That's an important thing, because many students play something like this. So they end up, after they come across string, they're already way in the upper half of the bow. They have no power to sustain the upper two notes or even the G. So on this first one, I could go even longer. The key is roll the bow across the strings and stay toward the lower half. Now, it's not marked in the music, but we have a phrasing here. I really feel that really gives a little bit of lift. If we play it the other way, that's not very classical. You know, in Haydn time, there would be a little lift on that phrasing. Now, I don't have to take the bow off the string. I just stop the bow. Now, here in the second bar, which is bar 22, it's marked in the music, and many students just play it like a dotted eighth note. And you hardly hear it, and it doesn't have any meaning. Or if we play, we can end the phrase with a beautiful vibrato. Okay, and of course, be careful of the triplet. So that's a beautiful, beautiful phrase. Let me play these first two bars. That's a beautiful phrase. We have the 16ths, we have 8ths, we have 32nds, we have triplets. A lot of different moving parts in there for young players to make sure stay on time. Okay, now after we finish this, the original phrasing is 2/16 down and an eighth note up. I like to just go, when we sustain that, we prefer, it's kind of a little more poignant. So we end the last bar up bow, and then we continue. We've had a diminuendo. Well, it's probably, honestly, I'll bet you that's not in the original, the diminuendo at the end of the second bar, but it's natural. And then we could start forte, but we could also start piano. It's another way of playing it. We could play. But you know, that's all the same. Through a whole bar, the dynamic is the same. And it could be more interesting. We'll start. That way the phrase has a direction to that bar 24, right? We're leading. And then we can taper off again at the end of the bar. At the end of bar 24, I again like doing the same. You could play. Down bow would be fine also. Either way, I would say make it a long note. Don't play a short dotted note. It's got to be expressive. And then I want to start up on the next phrase. Okay, because here in the music, it's written with a sforzando piano. I just don't see it. I don't feel this accent. I start piano, up bow. And it's like a little rocket, you know. Back in those days of the class, they had these things called rocket, where there'd be a phrase that goes fast up. Well, this is like little rockets. Much more interesting. What's the mark in the music? Piano. We have. Very, very uninteresting. We got to do more than that. So I say forget the accent, forget the sforzando, start piano. And then we can come back down right here to piano with a crescendo. Suddenly piano. So you notice how I did that. I made sure that bar 28 ended down bow. Then it's very easy to play a subito piano when you end down bow there. So I'll play this phrase for you one more time. We're here. Crescendo, and then a subito piano at that point. They have lots of other things, and I'll explain those. So we're at bar, let's say bar 28. We're at this time we're pretty forte. We're doing staccato. Still staccato. I do a hook here. Now I'm coming down bow. See here the 16ths are going to be legato. They have portato, but it's just legato. Espressivo, of course, espressivo. So instead of the diminuendo where they have in the music, it kind of takes away, you know, the fire of that next thing. So we're making as much contrast in this music as possible, especially dynamics. But often we'll have bowing contrast between staccato and legato, grande tache. Okay, so here we are now at bar 32. Now I like making this shift to third position, so I could sustain instead of. A lot of players like to play this first eighth note short. Haydn didn't write a 16th with the rest. He knew what it would sound like. He put an eighth note, so I'm sustaining it. So it's part of the phrase going up there. I like that. Now diminuendo. And here, why not? Off the string. Now contrast on the string with crescendo. And then we got this little phrase. A little louder. The dot is not marked in there. I think it's a nice thing. Legato doesn't have any character. Okay, so this is the first opening section up to measure 41, from 21 to 41. So we did cover 20 bars, and you see there's lots and lots of dynamics. I can't emphasize dynamics enough with my students. That most of the time they're comfortable just playing the notes, but remember, dynamics is expression. And in this case, with this Haydn piece, we also have different bowing strokes. We've got grande tache, we've got staccato, and we've even got a little bit of spiccato to keep the interest. Okay, so this will be the end of part 1, and then we will continue at measure 53 for part 2. Thanks for listening.